What's up, gamers? Big T here, back with another video, and yeah, I'm back. And recently, I guess over the last year or so, it's probably intensified. I've probably been talking about these types of things for longer than that, but Nintendo fans especially don't like my takes when it comes to Nintendo, unfortunately. And I'm speaking to Nintendo fans specifically because I am a Nintendo fan, so that's what I mostly deal with. That's the community I'm in. So it's not me singling out Nintendo fans. It's just that's what I care about. I'm not going to as a fan of something, talk about something else that I'm not a fan of. And have my focus be on that because that's just not what I care about, right? So when I talk about fans, it's coming from a perspective of another fan. So like I said, over the last few months to a year, there's been a lot of, I won't say a lot, but there's a good number of Nintendo fans who come to the comment section and are upset with my takes. Because of the current state of Nintendo as it is right now. There are just some people that will never see anything wrong with anything, and I get that. That's just a personality trait in a lot of people. They tend to, especially with things that they like, say a hobby or something, they tend to get into protective mode and want to overprotect it. I don't know why. It's not like people critiquing something is going to hurt it in any way. And that's what I want to talk about here, because as you see from the title, my main point is a lot of Nintendo fans weren't really on board with the Switch. And I just want to take you back. Remember that? Let's go back to the reveal of the Switch late 2016. A lot of Nintendo channels especially did reaction videos. I can't remember. It had to be, right? There was a setup beforehand saying we're gonna reveal the new Nintendo console, and we were told when. And so I'm sure a lot of people live streamed it, live reactions to it, if I'm not mistaken. And there was a lot of beforehand. Let's go back a little bit before that first, where there are fans of the Wii U, I guess you would call them that, making these lists about what Nintendo needed to do to make sure the next console wouldn't be another Wii U. There was all these lists, online and power and all, game, all that stuff was on these lists. And, I remember, as a fan, I was like, yeah, probably need to do that. They need to do that. They certainly need to do something with online. So I was agreeing with a lot of this stuff. So the Switch happened. We saw the reveal trailer for it, and a lot of Nintendo fans were in shock. They were like, what is this little tablet thing? It really is what the rumors were kind of hinting at, with it being a tablet, tablet console. In a way, it's not a tablet console, but a lot of the rumors were somewhat true, and a lot of these guys were shocked. Oh my gosh, they did not expect this, and they didn't think this would be a good thing. You can see from the subsequent videos that came out, right after the reveal and whatnot, and they weren't too keen on it, but they were still trying to be optimistic, because their bread and butter, their fan base, was Nintendo fans, so they didn't want to ruffle too many feathers. And that ruffling too many feathers thing became a staple with a lot of these channels. So fast forward to 2018, I started to get a little bit more critical, because 2017 was amazing. It was immense. Great titles early on the Switch. They had a killer app with Breath of the Wild, even though that was a Wii U game. We all know, blah, blah, blah. But they just were dropping solid, really good games for most of the year. And I would say after E3, I think around E3 that year, 2017 of the first year, I was like, this thing is going to outsell the Wii. And when they showed us what it would look like, in 2016, the reveal trailer, I said this was going to be a success. I have videos on that. I've been in podcasts about it. Some people were skeptical, but I was like, Nintendo is combining their strength. They're combining handheld, being able to play on the go. That experience, they have that market on lock. They've had it on lock since '89, and they're combining that with their core great franchises. We just came out of the 3DS. The 3DS was kind of waning at that point, but it was a fantastic console with fantastic, especially first party titles. I'm like, okay, so they're merging their 3DS development houses in with their console stuff, because they're not doing a handheld anymore. It's all one thing together. They're merging that, and they're just combining that with their already great, console first party games, exclusives and whatnot. And like, that is going to be the most fantastic console of all time. So I was like, this is going to be a major success. And a lot of people, especially the haters of the Wii U, were on that, oh, there's going to be another Wii U, is weak, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, nah, bro, this is different. This is not going to be that what you want it to be, so you can continue making money off of, angering Nintendo fans or whatever. So, the writing became on the wall by late 2017 that this was going to be a successful console. And so a lot of that stuff died down. A lot of the boo birds, the Wii U boo birds started to die down. And I was super through the roof. I was like, this thing's selling well. With the merging of the houses, the studios, the development houses, we're going to get reiterations of past great Nintendo franchises. They're going to have more resources to do that. They're selling, so that's just more revenue. Sales should equal more games from Nintendo, and it looks great. And I was one of the first people. I didn't see anybody saying that the Switch was going to outsell the Wii at the time I was saying it. Nobody was saying that. Now it's easy to say that, but nobody was saying that then. And so, if there was anybody optimistic about the Switch, it was me. Excited about the Switch, it was me. From the beginning. And I titled this because I titled the video, Nintendo fans were never really excited for Switch. I titled that because not long after the Switch came out, it was all about the refresh, the Super Nintendo Switch, the Switch Pro, the Switch Plus, or whatever it's going to be. It was all about rumors and the next and the next and the next instead of what we actually had right now. I was excited for what we had now. I still am. I still care more about the games than I do hardware. But a lot of the clicks and views were coming from the future, what we may get based on rumors. And, these guys were never really on board with the Switch's power, because from the beginning, they were chasing and chomping all these rumors about the dock and how the dock was going to give it more power because the reveal trailer just was not doing it for them, bruh. They needed more power. So it was all about the dock giving more power, adding, being a secondary boost device, basically, that'll give the Switch more power once you dock it. That was the rumor beforehand, and that came to not be the truth, other than upping the resolution because it's on the TV now. That's all you were getting from the dock. And so after that went away, it was all about, where maybe there'll be some software updates that'll add more abilities power-wise to it. And then after that, it was, all right, can we have a Switch Pro now? Like, I need a Switch Plus. I need the refresh right now. And so those videos were super popular. And a lot of the guys who were not on board with the Switch or were shocked by what it was are eating well now. Even though they were never really on board, they just saw the writing on the wall. This is going to be a high-selling console. I got to get in on this fan base. I got to keep everybody happy. We got to kumbaya. Everybody's happy, and I'm making my Google bucks. And they forgot about their lists, but I never forgot about the list. I remember the list, and I felt like a lot of those things were necessary, like reiterations and bringing back old franchises, making them new again, making the online better. Now, the online was free for the first 2 years, and so it was hard to overly complain about it, but I still complain about it. I'm like, why isn't there a messaging system for friends? Why do I have friends when I can't message my friends through your system? It's kind of insane. And if I want to voice chat, I have to do this weird Frankenstein dongle setup through my cell phone. It's insane. Why are we still doing this? And I was like, so we kind of waited around and was like, okay, once we're paying, the service is going to be better. It's going to be great. It's going to be a lot better than what it is. I didn't believe that, but a lot of people were saying that, and I kind of just went along with that. And of course, it's not. It's just kind of a NES, Super Nintendo, Netflix service for $20 a year, and they throw online play in with that. And coming from what we had, that's not enough. And especially since you're charging me now, because you weren't charging me before. You weren't charging me with the Wii. You weren't charging me with the Wii U. Why am I getting less now that you're charging me? I could talk about the Miiverse. That should be a separate video when I give my Miiverse well. But it's like, I don't care about NES and Super Nintendo games. And first of all, it's not that robust of a library. We're still waiting on certain things because, hey, I got this bad boy here, and I got these bad boys here for my retro gaming, and along with other things that I have way more games than Nintendo's offering me right now on NES Online. So why NES or Super Nintendo Online? So why would I care about any of that? That is not why I'm not paying $20 to play those things. But I have to pay $20 because I can't play Smash Online with friends, even though we haven't really done that a lot lately. And I can't play certain games online with friends if I want to. And it's just like I'm being forced, because it's like I want to play online, so I have to pay that $20, even though I think it's abysmal. I think it's a joke to pay that. Actually, I don't pay $20, but that's like the service for one person. I'm on a plan with the fellas, so I pay about $8 and some change. I mean, again, it's not just the amount; it's the principle. It's like, because I look over at my PlayStation 4, and me and Juice were playing. Who he was showing me, he was sharing his game on his PS5. He was showing me Astro Playroom, I think that's what it was, and he was just share playing. So he's playing the game, and I was getting to watch him, and we were talking voice chat, and I don't pay for PSN, so I could voice chat him, not paying for PSN, and I also can message him, not doing that as well. And it's just like, sure, there's other ways you can do that, but when you're playing a video game, it's just more convenient to be able to do it on the system right there instead of have to have a device to the side. It's just, we're past that. We've been past that since like the DS. The DS could do that. 3DS has voice chat, but it's just like, and then there's this crazy, excuse base that comes from fans that I just don't understand. And it only seems like gaming fans have these weird excuses or have this disdain for people who complain. Like, I'm a New York Giants fan. I've been born, bred a New York Giants fan. I grew up, I was born in New York, grew up there. Giants, Yankees, and Knicks. Those are my teams, right? So I remember when the Giants won the Super Bowl 2008 and against the Patriots, and they were a really good squad, but they were underperforming in the season. And so we as fans, we were like, come on guys, you can do better than this. This is not, you can do better. We know you have the capability to do better. And imagine like other fans saying, "Nah, man, shut up. They cool. They just lost the game. Whatever. It's fine. They're not giving us, everything they should be with their capabilities. But they're a business," and all these weird excuses that fans come up with. Oh, you don't know how to run a business if you think they should add all these things, and just weird stuff, right? When I'm chopping up with Giants fans, they like, yeah, we have these deficiencies. Even coming out of winning a Super Bowl, you're like, okay, we need to fix this. We need to shore up that. It's not like, oh, this is all good, great, we're fine. Same thing with movies. Like if a movie doesn't perform well and people talk about it, there's some people that love the movie. But even the people that love the movie will say, hey, yeah, it needs to do this. I still like the movie, but I can see the criticism of this or that or that. Only in gaming, you have these fans that want to sound like they want to fight you over your opinion, over your belief that they should do better and can do better. Only in gaming that happens. Again, my New York Knicks. I've been complaining about my Knicks for 20 years. Other Knicks fans would be like, hey, they ain't doing what they need to do. This is New York. Why don't we have the players? Blah, 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 blah. And I couldn't be happier. Now my boys are in the playoffs this year after, 10 years of not making postseason? Something close to that. And it's just like, but I was allowed to complain with other fans. We talked about it. And most fans agreed. And it's just like, nothing happens if you're buying the tickets, you're going to every game, even though they're terrible or they're underperforming. They don't have to be terrible, but they're not performing up to par where they should be. And you're just like quiet and you just go to game. You think the owners or if they're making the money, they're making the revenue, they don't care. But if the revenue's going down, if you're not filling seats with season tickets, then they start caring. They want to make sure they have a product to put out there that makes everybody happy, especially their core fan base, because the core fan base is what keeps you going through those shitty years, through those years that you're not good, the Wii U years, the years that you're struggling, the early 3DS. The core fans are what keep you going. These Johnny come lately, jump on the bandwagon fans because something is selling. Those guys will be gone. Look at the Wii. Those people will leave like that. It's the core fans that keep you going. And you want to cater to the masses, but you also want to cater to your core fans. And it doesn't hurt you to cater to your core fans. You won't lose those masses. You can do both, especially when you're selling in really well and you're doing really well in the market. Now is the time to shore up your fan bases. Now is the time to shore up your core fans, and you already have the masses on your thing. So you already have the commercial success going. Shore up your core fans, feed them, make sure they're doing well, because you're not always going to be doing well. I mean, especially Nintendo. Nintendo could be up and down. They could be doing fantastic one gen, and then they can do not so good the next. Fantastic, not so good. They tend to, go up and down every once in a while. So this success that you're riding with the Switch is not going to last. And if you piss off your core fan base, they're not going to be as enthusiastic next time for your next thing. And you're going to need them on that launch. You're going to need us during that launch. The Wii U sold, 3 million those first couple of months because of core fans. It was not a commercial hit. And they went on to prove that it wasn't a commercial hit. The core fans is what kept it going. The core fans are the reasons that you even had million sellers on that system. You had games on that system that were 60% and 70% of Wii U owners bought. Those were core fans who overperformed your games. Who helped your games overperform on a console that didn't sell very well. So you're riding high with all your commercial fans right now, but those guys will flip on you in no time, and it's only going to get harder with, when the Xbox really ramps up and when Sony really ramps up with the PS5, it's going to get harder. You're not going to be able to ride this thing that you have right now. It doesn't last forever, so the only company that has been consistently selling since they came out is Sony. The PlayStation is the only console that has been consistently number one. Outside of the PS3, it struggled, but the PS3 rebounded as far as market share and just kind of like commercial fandom. It rebounded. So So their worst selling console, home console, sold 83 million units. Nintendo's worst selling home console sold barely 14 million units, and the other one is 21 million, 21, 22 with the GameCube. So huge difference. So even when Sony fails, they win, bro. Sony always wins, as they say. So that's what I'm saying as a fan. Like it's strange that you can't. Fans get upset about you critiquing, and it only seems to happen in gaming. I don't think it happens in movie fandom as much. Yeah, Star Wars fans. You have certain fan bases that don't want to hear it. But even Star Wars fan base, even they come around after a while. Like, they get really defensive at first, but then they come around and be like, yeah. I may not dislike it as much as you, but there clearly were some issues with these movies and whatnot. What was I talking about? Sports, especially sports. Fan bases, we come together. When the team's not doing well, we want to be fans, but we also want to be realistic, And when the team is doing well, we don't just, coast and be like, hey, everything is great. We want to make sure, we get there and put out the product and get the quality out of this group that we should be getting. And that's how I feel. Just because you're doing well doesn't mean you're always going to do well. So you have to shore up your core fans. And if you're not delivering on your core fans, they'll disappear. Look at Sega. Sega, quit delivering on their core fans. Quit delivering for their core fans. And, they were just kind of all over the place. They had great consoles. Saturn and the Dreamcast were great consoles. But they were, they didn't. Their franchises, their core franchises that made Sega what Sega was, started getting less and less. And at this point, you would think Sega being a third-party company, that they would definitely bring back their core franchise. I mean, they've been doing better, but they're not really quite what they don't have that core group. I mean, they have fan bases when it comes to Sonic or this or that, but as Sega, I'm a fan of Sega. That doesn't happen anymore. You can say, well, it's because they don't have a console, but EA doesn't have a console. Activision doesn't have a console. They have core fan bases still. So, it is what it is. But anyway, my point was that, there's a group of Nintendo fans who were really never on board with the Switch. And it shows in their emphasis on the next. They want more power. And it's weird to me because it's like people are fine with those guys who are always throwing up rumors about the Switch Plus or the Switch Pro. I just want games. That's what I care more about. What is the bigger resource hog? Nintendo focusing on new hardware or putting out games? I would say the hardware is the resource hog. For one, you don't know how well it's going to do. But if you're putting out core franchises, you pretty much have an idea how well they're going to do based on previous, consoles. And Nintendo knows they have that nostalgia factor. They can get their fans excited pretty quickly with an announcement of a game that is, in their franchise, a core game that, gamers love. They can announce a Pokemon Snap out of nowhere. We get super excited. They can announce a open world Pokemon. People get crazy about that. They can announce a wave race. You think if they announced a wave race or a Star Fox, fans wouldn't be through the roof? I mean, of course we would. So I'm asking for games. That's, as a gamer, that's what I'm asking for. And again, as a season ticket holder, somebody telling me who's not spending the type of funds I'm spending, especially if I have a season ticket, and I'm, as a season ticket holder, I start to complain and say, hey, we could do better than this. We could do better than that. And some dude behind me is talking about, everything is great. You need to be quiet. Bruh, you're not even on the level I'm on to contest what I'm saying. You have to get where I am before you can say what I'm saying is meritless or full of merit or whatever. So, it's whatever. With that, I'm going to continue doing what I do. You guys know that. The majority of you guys are with me. There's just, there's a few people here and there that pop up every once in a while. I have this one bird that's always chirping in my ear. I really get under this person's skin, and I think it's hilarious. They think we're debating, but we're not. I'm toying with you. It's a fun thing for me, but because you're not going to change my opinion. You want that milk toast? You want that Bran Flakes Nintendo YouTuber stuff? Like I said, there's plenty of places to go for that. Here, you're going to get the real, you're going to get the facts. And as a fan, I want them to do well. So when they do well, I'm going to talk about them doing well, like I did early on with the Switch, like I did for most of the Wii U. I'm going to keep it honest. I'm going to keep it 100, and that's what I do here. So there you go, guys. Like I said, I was one of the first dudes saying Switch was going to outsell Wii. I was one of the first dudes saying this, well, not first dude saying it was going to be successful, but I knew right away it was going to be success, and here we are. So, and I'm happy about that, but I want that success to translate to, catering to core fans who were there with you through the struggling 3DS, who were there with you through the struggles of the Wii U. I was there day one with 3DS. I'm an ambassador. I still have my ambassador certificate on my 3DS to this day. I was there day one with Wii U, and I bought all the exclusives pretty much. I'm pretty sure I own all the exclusives, and most of them, 95% of them I bought day one. So I think I have a say. But anyway, that's my video. Thank you guys for watching and listening, and I'll see you fools next time. Peace.